The APFL draft is complete. The wheel of regional power has been spun. And we have a preview for you tonight of the NFL schedule release. All of this and more in 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to the Fanatic Real broadcast, sponsored by Sport Management Solutions, your one-stop shop for all your athletic communication needs. If you're out there with us tonight, please say hello. How is everybody on this Thursday evening? So we're going to do a show last night on our normal, regularly scheduled night, except for we were still waiting for the APFL draft to get concluded. It did conclude yesterday afternoon, but they didn't give me a whole lot of prep time to get ready for tonight's show, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough time. So here we are. We're going to talk about the APFL draft, the wheel of regional power, and give you a little insight about how the NFL schedule is going to play into our season for APFL and the WRL. It is a camo Walter hat. I'm glad that you were able to tell. Paul out there with us as well. How are you, Paul? Yeah, so this was like one of the last things that I got while we still had Nature Coast Tailgating as our official apparel, or Nature Coast Apparel as our official apparel. So I was able to get this very nice hat. It's a print on, but it's done really, really nice. So Grat's out there with us as well, Hanley with us. And Hanley, stick around after we get done so we can settle up on that hat, all right? I should have done it today, but I got involved with some other things. I want to make sure that whatever account that I'm in is the right one, that I make sure I get you the right money for. So I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. And the food looks really, really good. Not that the food looked bad that you sent to us the last couple days. But now we know that the wife is home. Looked really, really good. And Hanley said we need to have a food channel. You're probably not wrong, Hanley. We probably need to break away the community chat and just have the food stuff. That way we have ideas of what we can put when we get ready to do the new website for the tailgating stuff that's out there. All right, so APFL draft is done. We started on Monday at 6 o'clock in the morning. Both of them concluded yesterday, Wednesday. There always seems to be this contest between the AFC and the NFC and who's going to finish first. AFC finished first in this case, 2 days, 6 hours, 24 minutes. Not too far behind them was the NFC in 2 days, 8 hours and 28 minutes. So a difference of 2 hours and 4 minutes. Not a big deal. Everybody got done at about the same time. Top player picked for both of them was running back that ended up going to the Raiders, Genty. That was the number one pick on both the AFC and the NFC side. But we do have some comparisons for you that we wanted to bring up. So the first overall quarterback for the AFC came off the board with the third pick. First quarterback off the board in the NFC was the 14th pick. Of course, we just said number one running back was first in both of the conferences. Number one wide receiver off the board for the AFC came at the number 4 pick. For the NFC, it was the number 2 pick. And then with the tight ends, first tight end off the board for the AFC was the 9th pick. And then for the NFC, it was the 11th pick. Total number of quarterbacks that came off the board for the AFC was 6. For the NFC, it was 7. Total number of running backs, 17 for the AFC, 18 for the NFC. Wide receivers were flip-flopped, 18 for the AFC, 17 for the NFC. And then just like at the top of that list, flip-flop for the total tight ends, 7 going to the AFC and 6 going to the NFC. Another cool comparison or another statistic that didn't make the chart was up here. There were 4 players on the AFC side that were not drafted on the NFC side, and the same thing for the NFC side. 4 players on the NFC side that were not drafted on the AFC side. But I thought that was a pretty cool little phenomenon there in our draft. Somebody had asked in the chat earlier yesterday, Can't believe what I got for the final pick. Well, who did you end up getting as your final pick in the NFC? Because I had Mr. Irrelevant on the AFC side, and my guy that I picked was not a player that was picked on the NFC side. So who did you get on the NFC side? Somebody had asked today, when does the waiver wire open back up in the APFL? It will be next Wednesday. Thank you to the director for making sure that happened. He's got that all set back up. So 1 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, waiver wire will run again for the APFL. That will be our first run post draft. Oh, you got Gabriel. Okay. Very cool. I'm trying to remember if I don't think he was a player that wasn't drafted on an AFC side. Cause I remember after we got through like about 8 picks left on each side, they kind of evened up for the rest of the draft. Quarterback from the Browns. I think somebody else ended up grabbing him on the AFC side as well. All right, so let's talk about the WRL. For those of you that were around, you remember this. We had the Wheel of Regional Power that took place on Saturday at 3 o'clock East Coast time. Took us roughly 3 hours to get through that, so I wanted to thank everybody who was able to come out for that and pick their own spot. Some people that were even around elected to still go with random. Some people, unfortunately, were on the clock for too long, and we just had to move forward. So I think at least one person I know of, they got randomly selected to go to a spot's probably unhappy about that. But we were trying to do our due diligence to give everybody this 4 or 5 minutes. So sorry for that. But one of the things that I wanted to do was kind of give everybody a parade of regions tonight. And then what we'll do is I will probably release these images out in each one of the channels that is on Discord as we are waiting for the people who got selected to name their region. And we'll kind of point them out as we go through these cards when I show them to you here in a second, waiting for them to decide what their regional mascot is going to be for the year. So the first group of 4 that we're going to talk about is Region 1, Division 1. A good group of guys right there. It's funny to me that Gerard, the youngest guy in the group, has the winningest record out of all of them, but I can say that Toby and Kevin took a couple of years off from the redraft, and I know Jamie did as well. The good thing about this is whether you want to look at this on Discord in the next day or so, or if you want to come back and watch this video, come back and look. You got a name with a face now. You get to see who you're competing against. You got a little bit of statistics there. What these stats are, the records that you see for the win-loss are their win-losses for the times that they have played in the WRL. The years is the number of years they've just played fantasy football, not just the years that they played in FSA, but years they've played in fantasy football. And the championships, which is the chips, is a shortened version of championships. That's the number of championships that they have won in all of the FSA league. All of the fantasy leagues that they have ever played in, not just FSA. So wins and losses, only FSA. Years, all of fantasy. Championships, all of fantasy. Want everybody to know that. So let's move on to Region 1, Division 2. Good group of guys there too. Sean, Matt. Lucky enough to have Bruce with us for as long as we have. Patrick Smith, new guy, which is why you don't see a logo there for him yet. Got to still work on that. One of 2 general managers that we got to work on a logo for. Here's Region 1, Division 3. Ty Purcell down there in the bottom right-hand corner. She was the one that ended up winning the double jeopardy or the daily double to be able to name the region. Her and I have already been working in the background of what we're going to name Region 1. So congratulations to her on that, I guess, as you got to work through that creative process with me. Move on to Region 2, Division 1. Justin Hernandez, the other one we still need to work on a mascot for. Matt Berger up in the upper left-hand corner of the Bearcats, the person who wins the Name Your Region for Region 2. We'll be working with Matt here shortly to start working on that. Good group of guys that have been here. Paul, kind of new to us, coming over to us from Canada. You can see the records there between both Cam and Jason, been with us for quite a while. Division 3, I feel like this is the ladies' division minus Sean, but I also feel like even though Sean won Rookie of the Year last year, he's going to have a very tough division to play in against all of these ladies. Speaking of somebody who might be looking for Rookie of the Year, we got Katie up in the upper left. This is her first year playing with FSA. This Probably the toughest division in all of FSA this year, starting with Region 3, Division 1, not just because I'm in it, but it's because me, Eric, Chris, and Sean are all in it together. I think one of the few divisions where every single general manager has a winning record. It's going to be very tough. I think I was the last one to pick a spot for this division, and I did it only because Chris didn't want me to play with him, and I decided to go there anyways. Great region here as well. Some very long-time players with us. Phil Reed down there in the bottom left has won a championship with us, despite the record that you see there. Jason been with us already, a Hall of Fame member, despite that record that he has up in the corner. And then Anthony and Carl, very good adversaries. They should be tough to beat in the Region 3, Division 2. And then Jonathan and Randy, former co-workers of each other, playing in this. And what's funny is all four of these guys play with and against each other in the APFL, with Metric and Matt playing in the same division, Metric, Matt, and Randy playing in the same conference, and then Jonathan over in the AFC side. All of these guys have played each other over the 4 years that we have been doing the APFL. Then in Region 4, Division 1, I should say also on this screen, Matt Kroll is the one that gets to name the Region 3 mascot. And then in Region 4, Division 1, Hall of Fame member Rusty James down there in the bottom left-hand corner, formerly of Ohio, also living in Ohio right now, Damian Gratz. Just to his north, Hanley in Michigan. And then we got Devin Jenkins in Texas. Devin has been a very fierce competitor with us since he's came on board in 2020. Region 4, Division 2, we get Monica back. She has been absent with us for a couple of years, but as you can see, she's been playing with us for quite a long time. And she has been playing fantasy football for quite a long time. Bunkmate from Basic Training and AIT, Matt Brown in the upper left-hand corner, E.T. Spencer, and Eric Penny, both of them very, very good fantasy players. And then in our final region, Region 4, Division 3, this one's a funny one to me. So Brian Ware, last year's world champion, ends up being the last one on the wheel. He ends up getting to pick what the regional mascot is going to be. And inside his division is the year prior's world champion, Anthony Monheim. And then you can see those records by both Ted and Mike. That is going to be a very tough division as well. That's all we got for our parade of teams. I will post those pictures probably out on Discord tomorrow. Yeah, that's it for the WRL. Did the GM of the year last year even get mentioned? You're only asking because I think you won the damn thing, right? So Damien, general manager of the year, getting mentioned. Did you win a thing last year? I'm sure you did. I'll go through in the next day or so and giving the ribbons out, and I'm sure Katie's out there with us. I think she's coming in and tuning in from us from out of her own state tonight. So Katie, how are you? I think Hanley's eye roll is probably at you, Damien, as I was too, if it wasn't too obvious. It was something I wanted to talk about. So we were going to do a little bit of a schedule release yesterday. We were going to do the doubleheader wheel for the WRL. What does that mean? So now that we have all of the regions set and the divisions set, we are trying to accomplish 14 games in 13 weeks in the WRL this year. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is we have 1 week that is a doubleheader. And we were going to roll the wheel yesterday and do that. However, I started thinking about it with the way the director and I do it over in the APFL. We wait each year for the NFL schedule to come out because those bye weeks really do play a big part in making sure that whenever you're playing against your divisional mates, like we do over in the APFL, that you have the least amount of byes going on, because you want to put your best foot forward whenever you're playing against the people that are inside your division, because it means so much as you're moving forward to the playoffs. And over the 35 years that we've been doing this, 35 years, 30 years, whatever it's been since 1993, 32 years, that we've been doing this at FSA, I have always stuck to a certain template with a 14-week, 12-team schedule, which always made sure that you played your divisional mates weeks 4, 5, 8, and then 11, 12, and 14. But just because that's the way it's always been doesn't mean that's the way it always should be. So what I wanted to do was wait for the NFL schedule to get released before we did the doubleheader wheel, because I think once that is in front of people and once we figure out when we're going to play our divisional mates, that doubleheader matchup has a whole lot more weight to it then, and it means a whole lot more whenever you get to see all of the pieces together for it. So the NFL is going to release their schedule on 14 May. I don't know what time yet. I will find out and I will let you know. And then once we get that, as Toby and I start working through the APFL schedule, we will also start looking and reflecting on that and what that means for the WRL. And then once we've got kind of a solid ground for that, then we will come back and do the doubleheader week wheel for everybody, because it will mean so much more then. So hopefully that explains to everybody why we didn't do this last night. Also, I was waiting for the APFL draft to get done. I wanted to give myself enough time to be able to do the graphics like I did tonight. And I just didn't think trying to push it all together in 5.5 hours was going to allow me to do that. So that is it for tonight's show. We will be back tomorrow, back on a broadcast as we do I think it's in the third installment of the 7th inning stretch. We're going to do it at 7:15. Because that is when Atlanta has their first pitch. They're right here in the state with us. They are playing at home. East Coast time. We'll do 7:15 for our show. If we have anything that comes up that's important football-wise, we will also mention on the show, but we'll try to keep it baseball-centric for tomorrow night. So thank you for watching the Fanatically Real broadcast. Hope you liked tonight's show. If you're not already subscribed to us, follow us on all of our social medias. Please go out and follow and like the Recast, the official music of FSA. If you haven't looked into our title sponsor, Sport Management Solutions, please go out and look into them. Follow, subscribe to all of their stuff. And remember, we are Fanatically Real. We will see you all again tomorrow night for the 7th inning stretch.